Have you ever gotten to the end of a day, a week, or even a month and had that sinking feeling in your stomach as you ask yourself, where did all the time go? You had plans, big plans. You were going to start that project, learn that skill, hit the gym, read that book. But somehow the hours vanished. They were stolen by endless scrolling, by videos you don't remember, by saying yes to things that didn't matter, and by the comfortable, numbing promise of tomorrow. That feeling is a quiet poison. It's the gap between the person you are and the person you know you could be. It's the silent dread that your potential is just sitting there gathering dust, while the clock on the wall just keeps ticking relentlessly. What if I told you that this feeling isn't your fault, that you haven't been taught the single most important skill in life, how to truly own your time? What if there was a way to stop being a passive spectator in your own life and become the active architect of your days? In this video, we're not just going to talk about time management, we're going to share an inspiring story about a boy who was the king of wasting time and the simple, profound secret he learned that changed everything. This secret is an ancient piece of wisdom, and it has the power to give you back control. So, if you're tired of watching the clock win, stay with me, because what you're about to learn isn't just a tip, it's a new way to live. The ancient Stoic philosophers had a radically different view of time than we do today. We see it as something to be filled, managed, and optimized. We have calendars, apps, and productivity systems designed to cram more and more into every 24-hour slot. But the Stoics, like the great philosopher Seneca, saw it differently. He once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it." Think about that. The problem isn't the amount of time we have, it's the amount we throw away without a second thought. Time, he argued, is the one and only thing given to us that we can never get back. You can lose money and earn more. You can lose a friend and make a new one. But you can never, ever get back a single wasted second. This is the core insight we need to understand. Our time is our life, measured out in moments. And how we spend those moments is how we spend our lives. This brings us to our story. It's about a young man named Leo. To everyone, Leo was a classic lazy boy. His days were a blur of the same routine. He'd wake up late, grab his phone, and the world would disappear. Hours would melt away into a stream of social media feeds, funny videos, and intense video game sessions. He'd tell himself he was relaxing or decompressing, but a deep, gnawing emptiness followed him everywhere. His room was a mess of forgotten projects, a guitar with dusty strings, a sketchbook with only 3 pages filled, a stack of books he swore he'd read. Each object was a monument to a tomorrow that never came. He felt like he was living his life behind a thick pane of glass, watching everyone else move forward while he was stuck in place. One afternoon, while aimlessly wandering through town, he stumbled upon a small, old shop he'd never noticed before. The sign was faded, reading, "Elias and Sons, Menders of Time." Curious, he stepped inside. The air smelled of old wood and oil. Clocks of every shape and size ticked in a gentle, hypnotic chorus. Behind the counter was an old man with kind eyes and hands wrinkled with a lifetime of work. This was Elias. Leo, feeling a strange pull, found himself talking to the old man, confessing his feeling of being adrift, of watching his life slip by. Elias listened patiently, without a hint of judgment. He didn't offer advice or a lecture. Instead, he reached under the counter and placed a beautiful antique hourglass on the polished wood. "This is for you," Elias said. "But it's not sand inside. Think of each grain as a moment of your life. I want you to do something for me. For 1 week, just watch it. When you feel the urge to drift, to waste a moment, turn it over and just watch the grains fall." Leo took the hourglass, feeling a little foolish, but he agreed. The first day was a revelation. He sat down to play a video game, and as he reached for the controller, he remembered his promise. He turned the hourglass over. He watched the tiny grains cascade from the top chamber to the bottom. Each one a second, gone forever. For the first time, he wasn't just thinking about time, he was feeling it pass. He saw his life, his precious, unrecoverable life, literally trickling away. The realization hit him like a physical blow. That week, Leo carried the hourglass everywhere. He started a journal, not to plan his day, but simply to be honest about where the grains were falling. The results were horrifying. 12 hours on his phone, 7 hours watching random shows, 4 hours just staring into space. It was all there in black and white. At the end of the week, he returned to Elias's shop, his journal in hand, his face pale. "I'm wasting everything," Leo said, his voice quiet. Elias simply nodded. "Awareness is the first step, my boy. You cannot fix a leak until you know where the water is going. Now, for the second step." He took a small blank card from his pocket. "I want you to write down 3 things. 3 things that, if you spent your time on them, would make you feel proud when your own hourglass is almost empty. Not what your parents want, not what your friends think is cool. What makes you feel alive?" This was harder. Leo spent days thinking about it. He remembered how much he loved to draw as a kid. He thought about how good it felt to be strong and healthy. He thought about the dream he once had of building things with his own hands, maybe learning carpentry. Hesitantly, he wrote them down. 1. Create art. 2. Build my body. 3. Learn a craft. He showed the list to Elias. The old man smiled. "Good. This is your compass. From now on, before you spend your time, you ask one simple question. Does this serve my compass? Does this honor what I wrote on this card?" He then taught Leo the final lesson. "Your time," Elias said, pointing to the hourglass, "is like a fortress. And right now, the gates are wide open. Distractions, pointless requests, other people's priorities, they all march right in and steal your treasure. You must become the guard of your fortress. You must learn the most powerful word for someone who wants to reclaim their life: no." Leo's transformation wasn't instantaneous. It was a slow, deliberate process. He started by saying no to 1 extra hour of video games and yes to 30 minutes of sketching. He said no to a late-night party he didn't want to go to and yes to waking up early for a run. He started small. He found a beginner's carpentry course online and spent just 15 minutes a day on it. At first, it felt like nothing. But the grains of sand, the moments, they began to stack up. The sketches became drawings. The runs became easier. The 15 minutes of carpentry turned into a small, wobbly, but finished bookshelf. The emptiness inside him began to fill, not with distraction, but with the quiet, solid pride of accomplishment. He was no longer the lazy boy. He was a builder, an artist, an athlete in training. He was the master of his moments. Leo's story isn't just a feel-good tale. It is a practical, step-by-step guide for every single one of us. It's a blueprint for taking back your life one moment at a time. So, how do we apply this? How do you become the Leo of your own story? Let's break it down into 5 actionable steps. Step 1. Become the watcher. Just like Elias gave Leo the hourglass, you must first become aware of where your time is going. This is your time audit. For 1 week, track your time. You can use an app or a simple notebook like Leo. Be brutally honest, but do not judge yourself. This isn't about shame. It's about data. You are a scientist studying your own life. You need to see the leak before you can patch it. When you see that you spent 15 hours last week on TikTok, don't beat yourself up. Just acknowledge it. Okay, that's where the time went. Awareness is the foundation of all change. Step 2. Define your compass. This is perhaps the most important step. You cannot use your time wisely if you don't know what wise means to you. Take out a piece of paper, right now if you can, and ask yourself Elias's question. What truly matters to me? What activities make me feel strong, engaged, and alive? What do I want to be remembered for? Dig deep. Is it family, learning, health, creativity, adventure, financial freedom? Write down your top 3 to 5 core values. This is your compass. From this day forward, it will guide every decision you make about your time. When you're faced with a choice, you pull out your compass and ask, does this align with my values? Does this move me closer to the person I want to be? Step 3. Build your fortress. This is where you learn to say no. Our world is designed to steal your attention. Every notification, every ad, every request is a little thief trying to take your most valuable asset. Learning to say no is not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's saying yes to your compass. Start small. Say no to a social event you feel obligated to attend but don't want to. Say no to checking your email first thing in the morning. Say no to that quick question from a coworker that you know will take an hour. Every no you say to a low-value activity creates a space for a yes to a high-value one. Guard your time like the treasure it is. Step 4. Embrace the end. This might sound dark, but it is one of the most powerful motivators known to humanity. The Stoics called it memento mori. Remember you will die. This isn't about being morbid. It's about creating urgency and appreciation. When you truly understand that your time is finite, that your hourglass is constantly running, you stop taking your moments for granted. Each day becomes a gift. Steve Jobs said it best in his famous Stanford commencement speech. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Ask yourself this question every morning. If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? If the answer is no for too many days in a row, you know you need to change something. This mindset makes the trivial things fade away and brings what's truly important into sharp focus. Step 5. 1 grain at a time. This is the secret to overcoming the feeling of being overwhelmed. Leo didn't become a master carpenter overnight. He started with 15 minutes. This is the principle of Kaizen, or continuous small improvements. You don't have to revolutionize your life by tomorrow. Just get 1% better. Read 1 page of a book. Do 1 push-up. Write 1 sentence. Meditate for 1 minute. The power is not in the size of the action, but in its consistency. These tiny daily actions are like grains of sand. Alone, they seem insignificant, but over time, they build mountains. They create a new identity. You're not the person who is trying to get in shape. You are the person who never misses a workout, no matter how small. That is the power of 1 grain at a time. So let's bring it all together. Time is not your enemy. Your unawareness of its value is. Like Leo, we all have the choice to either let our moments slip away into the void of distraction or to seize them with intention and purpose. It begins with awareness, seeing where your time truly goes. It's guided by your compass, knowing what truly matters to you. It's protected by your fortress, the power to say no to the trivial. It's fueled by urgency, the knowledge that your time is limited. And it's built day by day, 1 small, consistent action at a time. The hourglass of your life is right here, in your hands. The sand is falling right now as you listen to these words. You can't stop it. No one can. But you can decide what you build with the time you have left. You can decide to honor the grains as they fall. The choice, as always, is yours. Start today. Start now. Become the watcher. Define your compass and lay the first grain of sand for the life you were meant to live. If this story resonated with you, show your support by liking and subscribing for more wisdom. Comment below with one small change you'll make today. Your journey is just beginning, and we are on this path with you.